All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, next, gentlemen, if y'all remember, we entered into an agreement with RST for recovery of funds used for emergency dispatch for the fire department as far as goods and chemicals used and so on and so forth. And when we entered that agreement, I think their fee was 15%. They're requesting a 5% increase so that their fee would now be at 20%. And there again, this will be for situations where currently we're recovering nothing.
No cost.
And it's no cost to us. If we don't recover anything, we don't pay them anything. But instead of getting 15% of what we recover, they're requesting 20%. And like I said, currently it would be money that we're not getting anything at all for. So if they are able to recover anything, we're getting 80% of something, which is better than 100% of nothing.
A piece of something beats all of nothing.
Right.
They do their own billing, we're not.
Nelson has a weird look on his face. I mean, more than normal.
I think we still get 100%. They just increase their amount by
Okay.
So we still get our full base. They tack on us to 50.
So just their fee is increased, our recovery rate will still be the same?
Exactly.
Okay, that's even better.
So they do their own billing.
Just to let people know, this is for spills that has to be cleaned up involving in an accident or a
Yes.
truck turning over.
And if y'all remember, we had that discussion, like if we had some local residents that we wouldn't even have to turn it into these folks. This would be more for like major situations, interstate travel and things of that nature.
But we were sitting there talking about recovering and all
Yeah.
that, and we didn't really clarify we're looking at it, but people out there can't see what we're looking at.
Right. So we need a motion and a second to okay this new rate and agreement, and I guess you'd have to authorize the judge to sign this new agreement with the new rate.
Motion made.
If they don't collect, then that's on them.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got a motion by
We got a motion by Nate, but you're right, Mary. If they don't collect it, it's no cost to us at all.
And the increase is, we state that again. It goes
Okay, the increase is on their fee that they're adding to it.
from 15 to 20%.
Thank you.
And we had a second by Myron, a motion by Nate, and a second by Myron. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. All right, next, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review the budget transfers, we need a motion and a second to authorize those transfers, to approve. Motion by Myron. Second. Second by Scott. Any question or discussion on those? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, next, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review the cash transfer of $12,888.84 from the federal grant fund to the general fund, we would need a motion and a second to approve that. This is, I think, HIDA and COPS money. Got a motion by Scott.
Second.
Second by Nate. Any other question or discussion? And this is money that comes in. It comes into this federal grant fund, and we have to transfer it to the general fund to be able to pay out. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, next, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review the cash transfer of $1,803,696.50 from the federal grant fund to the ARPA fund, we would need a motion and a second for that. So for the public's benefit, this was the money that was in the budget amendment. This is the federal money that you've heard probably about on the news. and it goes into a federal grant fund, but we're transferring it to the ARPA fund, where it's a whole. Yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna transfer into a fund we haven't established yet?
Well, it's established, but this will be to put it in a bank account.
Okay.
Bank
Yeah.
account.
This is a line in the budget. It's just moving it from the general line to an ARPA line on the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll
And
move
it's a
it from
total
that line.
And then we're gonna move it again in just a minute.
It's an accounting issue.
It's those, dot your i's and cross your t's and make sure that the DLG is happy with what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Motion made.
Got a motion by Nate,
Second.
second by Myron. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, next, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review the cash transfer of $73,000 from the general fund to the jail fund, we would need a motion and a second to approve that. And if I'm understanding correctly, this will take us through to the next fiscal year. We're 2 weeks away.
So,
Motion by Myron, second by Scott. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Then, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review the bills and claims, we would need a motion and a second to approve the bills and claims as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Marty,
Second.
second by Nate. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. And then finally, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review our May 31st, 2021 financial statement, we would need a motion and a second to approve that financial statement subject to audit and authorize the county judge and the county treasurer to sign it.
Motion.
Got a motion by Scott, a second by Nate. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. Now, since we've not handled the ARPA money enough yet, we've got one more move to make with it. We did finally get confirmation that this could be in an interest-bearing account, absolutely. So the county treasurer went back through, checked with 3 different banks on their rates. We have, and I guess it's okay to call this by name and amount. I mean, this was the banks and this was the rates they gave us. Franklin Bank gave us a rate of 0.5%, South Central Bank 0.15%, and German American 0.09%. So, you don't have to be real good in math to know that if that's your 3 options, you should take the 0.5%. And so if we do this, this would authorize us to put that money into this account that would bear interest at the rate of 0.5%.
Well, I made the motion last time for the other bank, and then it turned out that didn't work out, so I'll make the motion for Franklin Bank this time.
All right, so we got a motion to establish this into this money market account with Franklin Bank at the rate of 0.5% interest. And we will be, I want to clarify here with the county treasurer, but we'll be transferring that entire amount in that ARPA line, the 1.8 whatever million.
Then,
Got a second by Nate. Any other question or discussion on that?
when are we gonna have discussions on what we can spend this money on and,
When?
yeah, what we're gonna do with it? Because I know we're gonna have several people start asking.
We're going to have several start asking, and we can have more and better discussion on it if we can ever get any full guidance from the U.S. Treasury.
Every Thursday, NACO has a webinar. You register for it. You can get on NACO's website, register for it. I mean, you can sit in and listen to the exact same things that we're listening to. And they've even started offering, like, kind of what other counties around this, not just this state, but other states are using it for. So you kind of see what's in it.
And the good thing is, you've got till December 31 of 2024 to expend these funds. Well, no, that's not really true. You've got till December 31 of 2026 to expend the funds. You just have to have whatever you're doing contracted for by December 31 of 2024. You've got then 2 years to finish and pay out any type of project or something you're doing with it. And so, yeah, and Nicole's right. I mean, you can get on the NACO website and register. They're doing them every Thursday. And honestly,
It's kind of varied by time, so I would maybe register Wednesday, they'll send you the link, and it's got all the time and everything, and it's a Zoom meeting.
but honestly, the last 2 meetings, there's really been no earth-shattering new information as far as what you can and can't do.
Yeah, they're just kind of digging into the weeds right now, just to kind of explain all the different categories, kind of more in depth. So, and they're still I mean, you'll see there's several, there's
There's still enough gray area that I'm not ready to write a check to anyone today.
at the end, they kind of ask everybody kind of asks different questions, or they'll go through the chat box, and a lot of your answers are NACO will get clarification. I mean, so it's still pretty
One
fresh.
question that specifically asked was, will there be a point of contact that we can talk to make sure that what we're planning to do fits? And their answer was, no, we expect you to know what to do.
Based on the
And
guidance
the
that you've
problem
been
is-
given, they're not going to give you approval.
Right, and the problem is, like Myron's talking about gray areas, like, let's say today we decided, hey, this is something great needs to happen in the community, and we write out $1 million check, and there it goes, and we run that through, and the treasury says, nope, can't do that. Guess who's on the hook to pay that $1 million back? Yeah, yeah, so.
Well, let's don't start out with $1 million on the first project. Let's do it, let's do something.
But to answer your question is, we're just working to get more guidance, and we don't need to be real eager just to start. Let's make sure that what we're doing is going to qualify. And the biggest thing is, I think we need to do some things that we're allowed to do that will have the biggest impact and the greatest benefit to the community for years to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have a ton of printouts and information in my office, and you're more than welcome to come down. I'll make you copies of it if you want to go through it, look through it, so.
All right, so we need all in favor of establishing this account at Franklin Bank at 0.5% interest. All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Next, I'll probably need the jailer and/or the chief deputy on this next one. We have, gentlemen, I think y'all have a copy of a proposed contract, and just something that we just caught this morning that I'm a little confused about is the new contract starts July 30th, but our current contract ends June the 30th.
Judge, I asked them about that yesterday. I talked to Mr. DeLeese about that yesterday, and basically, they have to give notice to terminate the old contract. We have to give so many days' notice, and so once the notice period is over, that's when the new one begins.
So it's a 30-day notice period, so we would have to notify the current provider. I mean, although their contract is a 1-year contract, it's automatically renewable without notice.
Yeah, and then you have to give them, to terminate it, you have to give them 30 days' notice.
So that's why, so the current carrier would run through July 30th.
Correct.
Judge,
Also, because you have to have a signed contract before the other people can buy insurance, and it takes a bit to buy insurance. So, Eric's talked with the folks with the current contract, saying has a letter there to extend the same terms for a month.
I just brought that over. I just got it, brought it over here for it, and it'll be for Judge for you to sign. And just to keep public up to speed, we had our Kentucky Jailers Association meetings last week. This is something we've been working on, trying to find ways to save money, and everything came together this week. And we're getting the same coverage, or equal to our coverage that we have now, with some extra benefits that may affect our insurance, our county insurance in a positive way, but some of the benefits that they offer for us. I think there's a $15,000 savings on top of that, just right off the bat. But, like I said, I hate to throw this on you, like it's time sensitive, as you know. And we've talked to our current provider. We're still in good standings with them. They have been very understanding, and they're bowing out gracefully. because you don't, when you swap over to something new, we're going to swap over for a year. It may work, it may not. We may have to go back. I don't know. But I feel like this is a good direction for our jail and the taxpayers.
Because you mentioned the benefits, so what's the cost difference in the base health and then the benefit part? Because I guess my question is, because we have this discussion a lot, and obviously $15,000 is savings. It's not enormous, but any savings is better than none. But I guess my question is, if we're talking about savings, if we just provide the base coverage, are we required to carry or cover anything else other than that base coverage?
What we've done in this, Mason, is they've reduced, it's the same nursing hours, same everything, so we've got the same base coverage, actually. And we've got an additional $7,000 in our cost pool because we've been going over our cost pool. So instead of having 48,000, we have 55,000. So actually, instead of 15,000, savings closer to 22,000.
Rick, could you elaborate on that cost pool?
Okay, cost pool is something that is done outside the facility. Usually that's going to cover your things, even some things inside the facility such as dental and and x-ray. Those are paid out of the cost pool. Pharmacy's paid out of the cost pool. Outside doctor visits. The contract itself is just for the nursing hours, the doctor, the insurance, all the things that go on inside the jail, basically. Cost pool is things we know we're going to spend outside, possible hospital visits, things like that. So we just try to budget those so that we don't get hit with a big bill and not have the money there.
So that number can vary, or
It can vary, and we're hoping that possibly we're hoping we can stay in that 55,000. If we do, that'll be better than what we've been doing. These folks actually own their own pharmacy, so we think that's a plus for us. Nicole will be familiar with per diems. This company does not have a per diem. So if our number increases, they don't charge us extra until we have to add nursing hours, which we wouldn't need to add nursing hours till we got up to 260, 70, something like that.
And that's what they call the population increase. That's that charge, correct?
That's that charge, yes. So we're going to see savings there. Additionally, they are a newer, smaller company. They're a Kentucky-based company. Instead of being one of 300 or 400, we're going to be one of 10 or 12, so we should get some additional customer service. It's not that we're dissatisfied with the job the other company's done. We just feel that this is better for our taxpayers. And all y'all know, I've worked for the other company, and I've looked at this, and hey, I think it's good for our taxpayers. And Eric thinks it's good for the taxpayers and saves money, and willing to give it a shot.
So what we'd have to do is authorize a termination letter to be signed by the judge to go back to Southern Health Partners, and then authorize entering into this medical contract to begin July 30th.
Right, and that's the paper that he's got. It's just an extension, so we have coverage, so the next provider can transition in and get set up, and we don't lose coverage. We don't go a day without coverage, basically. So, like I said, they were very, very graceful. I mean, it was, they understand. They've been in it a long time. If it works, that's great. If it doesn't work, we're here.
And there's also,
No, we have not burned any bridges.
no,
So-
and there's also a 60-day out clause in this. If we get in and it's not working, we can terminate 60 days notice and go back to what we were doing.
And worst case scenario, if that were to happen, Southern Health Partners would agree to continue at the rate they were at when we left?
Probably not, because they were going to have an increase this year anyway.
Well, it's time to sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was going to go up 1.5% to 2%. And so that's still an additional savings on top of what we were doing. On top of the company, Eric's checked out the folks that own the company, and one of them.
I've talked to other customers. I think Myron and I had a conversation. I think, Nate, exception of one. There's a story behind that one, so we're gonna leave it alone, but, everybody seems to be satisfied with these people. They've come down, they've sat with us, they've talked, we've discussed a lot of different scenarios with them, and, I feel confident right now.
One of the principals worked with Keiko, another owns the pharmacy, good ties in their community long term. I mean, these are not fly-by-night people by any stretch of the imagination.
So the approximate savings is $15,000 to $20,000 per year.
Yes.
Okay.
And depending on what happens with the cost pool, because how much have we been going over cost pool and go?
Let's see, I'll run it here real quick. Y'all can continue talking and I'll run these numbers.
So what she's looking at, Sam, you've read the contract with West Kentucky Correctional Healthcare. The contract's good.
I have.
You've read the information to extend the 30 days but terminate on July 30th with Southern Health Partners, and we're good there.
Seem to be, yes.
Well, your opinion's one that has to matter, because
Well, to be fair, Judge, I just got this put under my nose, so I'm looking at it.
And I apologize for that, because it just got put in.
I'm not mad, I'm just telling you why. I just, termination, 30 days, effective July 30, keep the letter in your records. They wish us well, Judge.
It would require your signature, and then I need to send it.
Seems to be in order.
Okay.
Well, the cost pool so far, but I mean, we're only paying through May. It's already at $45,400, but of course, we're going to get a June bill for that too, so
And that cost pool was what, 48?
48.
Yeah. And we had
So it's going to be additional savings to us.
with COVID, we had a lower number
Yeah.
of incidences out this year, so.
is this, I assume, Sam, this would require two motions. One motion to sign this term. It's kind of a funny thing. It's a termination and an extension letter at the same time. You're extending for 30 days, but you're also saying at the end of the 30 days, I'm terminating the service. So we need a motion
To prove that,
to approve the extension and termination with Southern Health Partners and authorize the judge to sign it.
and then a separate motion to approve the contract with West Kentucky Correctional Health.
And it would be a one-year contract, which would start on July 31st and end on July 30th.
Correct.
Motion made.
Oh, well, which one?
To the first one.
Okay.
To the first one, that y'all said.
So you're making a motion to authorize the judge to sign the extension and termination letter to Southern Health Partners. All right, so we got a motion on that. I knew which one you was doing. I just carried on with you, Nate. Second by Scott. Any
We
questions?
probably need to state for the record which one.
We did. It's the extension and termination letter to Southern Health Partners. We got a motion by Nate, a second by Scott. You know, if you can't laugh and have a good time, you're going to end up miserable. It's going to be a pretty miserable life, right?
Right.
Yeah. Any other question or discussion on that? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, so next then, we need a motion and a second to enter into an agreement with West Kentucky Correctional Healthcare for a one-year term per the conditions of the contract that has been reviewed by the county attorney, and authorize the judge to sign that contract with West Kentucky Correctional Healthcare. Motion by Myron.
Second.
Mark, was that you, Marty?
Yeah.
I heard both of you at the same time. So I'll give that one to Marty. Any other question or discussion?
I'd like to thank you guys for being proactive and trying to save the county. What do you want is possible.
I know we're still in the hole, and we're going to be in the hole for a minute, and we're just trying to figure out ways to.
Savings is savings, yeah.
Absolutely. If you can do this 40 more times.
Everyone in favor, aye. Any opposed?
Hey, Byron, you want to ask me my numbers today?
Yeah,
233 and 192.
so we're full capacity,
Yes,
full capacity.
192 state.
Jailer, tell us about what happened at the association. What did they do to you?
They put me on the stand. Well, I have served on the board of directors since 2011. I got elected, I think I'm the only jailer that got elected to the board the very first year. And I've served our community, I've served our board, I've served our association. Ever since then, I've struggled with my decision, and I decided the vice president spot came available. Was up for election, and for the Kentucky Jailers Association, I struggled with the leadership role of it, and I think it was my time to step up, and I'm your new vice president of the Kentucky Jailers Association.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
They asked for a voice, and y'all know me, I'll talk. So
Mr. VP.
I've stepped up, and you know, here's a good thing. Not only am I representing 120 jailers across the state, but it also helps us in Simpson County have a louder, you know, voice, and you know, maybe help some of our struggles. So,
Congratulations.
sir.
You and I just briefly talked about this, of ways that we could increase our population, because right now, we're at 100%.
Yes, sir.
You shared with me, can you share with fiscal court something that might help us?
Well, it's funny, after I got elected to the position, I get a call from the governor's office asking me to be on the, what's that committee, the Jail Standards and Regulations Committee. Don't know that I'm going to accept that, but Myron, after he come over and chastised me the other day, I may do this too. But some of the leverage that we have and suggestions that we can make if I choose to take this committee, what I was thinking, you know, they've got the standard right now is 40 square foot per inmate. That's the regulation across the state. And, you know, with them holding us at 100% capacity and staying pretty much on top of that, you know, we have no leverage to go up, or, you know, I mean, we can't advance. As times are changing, we need more ways of pulling more money in, not being cruel or, you know, anything like that. I wouldn't hear of it, but we've got there may be a way, if we can get those square footage per inmate reduced, that will allow us to add on, you know, add more to our budget, you know, without them being honest. So that's one of the suggestions I will be bringing up right off the bat, and maybe they'll help offset some of our costs too, because I'm pretty sure if they reduced it to 35 square feet per inmate, that we can draw some extra money there.
Is the state still doing as many with the private prisons as they were doing?
No, they are, but they're not. They actually leased out one from CCA, but it's a state lease. State leased it from CCA, so it's not technically a private prison because the state, you know, controls it.
Well, isn't the reason I'm asking is what, 31,
34 a day.
to county, but it's like 55 that they pay to a private prison.
Right, and that's one of the fights.
Well, what about is the square footage recommendation the same for a private as a county owned?
I think it is.
Okay.
I think that's a standard across the state.
Well, it seems to me if they can allot, they should allot the counties the same amount they allot the private prisons.
Well, I shouldn't
think
say
so?
that. I'm not gonna say that publicly, but you can figure out what's going on there.
Oh, absolutely.
If we can do it for 31, 34 a day, which, you know, y'all know it eats every bit of that up, but if we can do that, there's no reason that the private prisons can't, so you can figure out what's going on.
Well, they're not going to get them lower to that, but
Or at least
there
raise
is a chance that what they should do is raise the county per diem to the same thing they're paying the private prisons.
Well, the other fight we're going to have is the state legislature is going to start taking looks at dropping certain Class D felonies to misdemeanors, which is going to put all the burden on the counties.
Exactly.
And
Well, they've already done some of that on
Yeah.
the theft stuff and some other things that's gonna take effect here in a couple of weeks.
yeah, but they're looking to expand it even farther, which is going to be even more detrimental to us.
So if you take that position, if you need something from the court, you know, we could have a letter with the court heading on it saying, you know, would like to push for you to pay the same amount to the county per diem as you are for private prisons.
I appreciate the support, and that's a great suggestion. I said this a while back, and maybe we was arguing a little bit or whatever, but I know I said it, and I think you agreed with me. But until the magistrates, the judges, the sheriffs, and the jailers get on board, we're not going to accomplish nothing. It's hard enough for one association to fight and get anything moved. But if your judges start backing your jailers up, because the jail is the biggest budget. I mean, it's the biggest part of the budget in every county across the state.
Do you know where ours ranks?
I do.
What number?
Number 9. As far as the largest budget per percentage.
Well,
Now,
no, it's
contribution,
it's
we're down here.
No, in total budget, we're number 24. Out of 120 counties, we're number 24 in
I
total
thought we were
budget.
higher than that.
No. In percent of budget, we're number 11, but in the cost per county resident to operate, we're number 9.
Okay. I won't see those.
I've got you a copy downstairs.
That's fine. I'd still like to see those.
Those were put out by the Vera Institute on 2019 numbers.
But
Overall cost of the jail, not the cost of the county portion.
Well,
we can't be number 9 as far as county to contribution.
No.
We can't.
Okay, so you take the total jail budget, we're number 24,
Okay.
4.3 million. whatever
Right.
it was. Then when you take what percentage that number is of the total budget, it's 33%. We're number 11 in the state.
Right.
Then,
In the county.
then if you break down the county population, okay, county residents, and you take that budget divided by the number of county residents, so then it's X dollars per resident to operate the jail, we're number 9.
But I think what he's trying to explain to you, Mason, that is not the key number you look at. The number you look at is what is the county contribution towards that and what is the percentage of that. Because if you're running a small jail,
They didn't run that in that analysis.
no, but that's the
I'm looking
key.
at the cost from the county or from the cost from the jail to the county. We're down there.
Yeah, it's like,
That's the number that we focus on.
it's like, we've talked about if the sheriff did just his constitutional duty, he could do it on fees. If Eric does his constitutional duty, it costs us over twice what it would cost to run the jail the way he's running it, because he's offsetting the cost by having additional revenue.
But I'll give you a copy of that Vera report. I figured you might be on the call, because it was a call with Senator Westerfield and Representative Massey. I guess they're on a committee that they're looking at what it costs to operate a jail and what needs to happen. And so that was just a call that
Had discussions with them.
yeah. So,
About that.
so, I mean, the bottom line is, we all know, there's cost to operate the jail. We got to do everything we can to curb those costs, especially, yeah, I know, okay. All right.
One of the other things we were talking about in the budget that's coming up, with the programming that's going on, there's some additional funds. We didn't make any arrangements in the budget for additional funds coming in.
Yeah, because again, it's kind of like this ARPA money. You have no idea when it's coming. You can't put money into the budget that you don't have. You don't know when it's coming. If that money comes, we'll just have to amend it in.
Just put it in a line item for transfer or something like that.
Well, I mean, okay, so those monies that are coming like that, like the per diem, say there's supposed to be a $2 per diem. All of those monies that are, I mean, we say are coming.
We don't, that we're afraid to put in until we get it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all jail money that'll have to be amended into the jail budget when we get it. I mean, or, we don't have it yet.
Yeah, but in addition to that, there's also the programming money, which is gonna be a continuing revenue source, but we don't know what that's gonna be till we get through a year, so.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna carry on with the rest of my report now. Thank y'all. Thank you. All right, gentlemen, I just slid a paper in front of you with the Historical Society done. If y'all remember, back during the bicentennial, they done a escape room thing in these two kind of worn down rooms over here. They're wanting to use those rooms again for another fundraiser for another escape room on the evenings, afternoon and evenings of July 30th and 31st, which will be a Friday and a Saturday. They're talking about from like 1 in the afternoon to 11 at night. And on the Friday is also a concert downtown. But they're also wanting to use the fiscal courtroom here to have like a judge panel, and evidently they have some retired or former judges, like Judge Harris, Judge and current Judge Broderson, former Judge Wakefield. Then you see some names of people that are planning to be prosecutors. I don't think either of those gentlemen have law degrees. do they?
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I don't.
Not to my knowledge, no.
All right. But,
It'll probably be a mistrial right off.
but now Roger Eldridge, I hope Roger's watching this or sees this. Now Roger can do some acting, so Roger could probably play the part.
We need,
Steve Thurman, I'm not sure about.
well, the problem is, they need to know, and I'm saying this on the record, that's called the unauthorized practice of law. It's a Class A misdemeanor. Carries a penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $500 fine. So I'm just saying, you know.
But now, I hope Roger and Steve are both watching this now.
Also, that's like in the category of a lawyer represents himself as a fool for a client. And so I'm just saying, they're going to play it being lawyers, that's unauthorized practice of law. It's
Now-
a misdemeanor.
The sheriff has been approached to play the role of bailiff.
Well, that's perfectly within his constitutional duty.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where he's at in all of that.
Well, I'm afraid
I've been
they,
approached to play a prosecutor too, but you just talked me out of it.
well, the thing is, they're committing this misdemeanor in his presence, so I have to take him in custody.
Are they planning on,
They go have coffee with the jail bonds deputies.
I'm perfectly fine with this, but it says from 1 PM to 10 PM. I mean, is it a 9-hour deal they're
Well,
doing in here?
it's different groups, like, they'll have groups, they're like 1 hour groups.
Okay.
So, and I've never done an escape room, I don't know how that works, but I guess you get like a group of people, and then there's clues, and I guess they're going over into these rooms to get the clues, and then once they get the clues, they have to come in here in front of the judge and try to prove that they're innocent, and the judge is trying to convict them.
Oh,
I don't.
Guilty.
Yeah, there you go, just a stamp, guilty, next.
Give a fair trial, then hang them.
But when they done this the last time, we took fiscal court action to allow them to use those rooms, with them wanting to use those rooms and the courtroom. I felt like we need to have fiscal court action. I don't necessarily have a problem with them doing that. They understand that if the sheriff cannot be here, they are going to be obligated to have some type of court security here at the facility.
no, they're using this room over here. Are they?
They're going to use those two rooms. That's the rooms they use for the escape room. All the clues and all of that will be there. Then they come into here to,
With the ceilings falling down and everything?
yeah, they liked it. They said it made it even better.
All right, dude.
Go figure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't, this,
Well, if you need a motion, I'll make a motion.
so Marty's made a motion to allow the Historical Society to use the fiscal courtroom and the two, for lack of anything better to call them, I'll call them the two dilapidated rooms.
Second.
Got a second by Nate. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, one more thing, gentlemen, that I want to take up, and I mean, I know we're a ways away, but I think it's probably best just to establish it now, is Christmas and New Year's holiday in this next fiscal year. According to the admin code, any holiday that falls on Saturday goes back to a Friday. Any holiday that falls on a Sunday, we take the Monday. Well, this year, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are both paid holidays. So this year, Christmas Eve and Day are Friday and Saturday. Well, the Saturday holiday would fall back to Friday. And so my suggestion is going to be that we really just push everything back one day, and we can do the Christmas holiday on Thursday, Christmas Eve, Friday, and because you're either going to have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or you're going to have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And since it falls on Saturday, it would typically go back to Friday. My suggestion is we do the Christmas holiday for Thursday.
I'm fine with it either way, but being as it is right now, could we not ask each employee, ask employees what they want to do, and then just take a majority of which way they want to do it?
Well, I think this has been the consensus of most of the employees.
All right, well, that's fine.
And I think people are planning some things right now, so that's why we've kind of had some phone calls questioning, what are we going to do?
So it'd be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, we take the Christmas holiday Thursday instead of Monday.
And it'd be the same for the next week?
It would be the same for New Year's. We do the same thing Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
Does that, since that is in the administrative code, does that require a vote?
Since you're deviating from the administrative.
Can we do Christmas and New Year's in one vote? All right, so I need a motion and a second to authorize the Christmas holiday and the New Year's holiday to be on the Thursday prior to Christmas Eve and prior to New Year's Eve. Who made the motion? Meyer made the motion, Scott seconded the motion. Any question or discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? I'll be done with my report now. I think my report was more votes than report. Marty, do you have anything?
Yeah. Of course, you all know I'm on the ambulance board. I got a letter, I think it was last Friday, had it completely caught me off guard. Dale McClary's been there for 23 years as director, and he turned in his resignation for July 3rd. I just want to congratulate Dale on his retirement, and he's been a very good director, and it's going to be tough to find someone to fill the position, because I think it took 6 months the last time. And so that we're having a meeting at noon, and that will be discussed on what we're going to go forward there with. But I just wanted all of you all to know that Dale has turned in his resignation, and I want to wish him the best and congratulate him on a job well done while he's been at the ambulance service.
Yeah, he's done a good job.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. The state started mowing roads yesterday out in my district. They were on Blackjack Road, and I talked to Bobby. He said it would take an extra man to do it, but I still think, I've mentioned this in the past, but I think they've got a big blower on the back of their truck, and when they go through, they blow all the grass off the road. People that ride motorcycles appreciate that. And these, I ride by and where people have mowed their yard and blowed it out in the road. They don't realize how dangerous that is to somebody that's on a motorcycle. So I don't know if that's something that you all would be in favor of looking at, but I think it's, and it just keeps the roads cleared off. If we can afford to, have another part-time person, we can't afford to hire a part-time person just to ride around and blow the roads off. I understand that, but if there's something else something else they could do during mowing season to help offset that, that's something I think we should look at doing. But I don't mean, prepared to do anything at this meeting, but it's something that, I don't know how much one would cost. I don't know what cost to be associated with it, but if it's something we could afford, I really think it's something that,
Yeah, they were on Hickory Flat Road this morning, mowing the lane coming out toward 100, and that lane was pretty well covered in grass. Well, part of it's covered in dirt. It looked like he plowed down in the bank a time or two.
They do that.
Of course, if they wouldn't wait so long to mow, we would have, I mean, when I watch where the counties mow, which they mow quite often, we don't have near the grass on the road, we do the state roads.
Just an idea I was throwing out. You all can think about it. And also, kind of like Sam is about taxes, I say this quite often, but I would just ask people to watch for the equipment on the roads, because if you've never had to move a piece of farm equipment down the road, you should have to do that one time before you get a driver's license. Because,
Been a long time, I don't miss it.
yeah, I mean, the equipment that's out there now, it takes up the whole road. There's no way to keep from doing it, and you can have a truck with a caution light on top, and, you know, you had a red flag, you're, waving a flag, and it's like this. A lot of them think it's like one of those bullfighters, they see a red flag and they go faster, but it's just, I just don't want to see anybody get hurt, so just ask people to watch for that.
All right. Nate, do you have anything?
No report.
All right. Scott? No, sir. Myron? Counselor?
No, sir.
Sheriff? Nothing, sir. You don't even want to talk about how good the sale was yesterday?
Very hot. Did bring $63,000 on sale.
That was the total amount?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the total was roughly 63,000. I'm just saying that so people can hear on the camera. But
And part of that goes to the jail for commissary for the mowers, and the rest of it goes to the drug fund?
well, it's split a bunch of ways. Part of it to the commissary, part of it to the drug fund. Some of it does come back to fiscal court. It'll all have to be figured out which part goes for.
I'll give you a report on our next meeting. We've actually got, there's so many,
Right.
depends on what the item is seized by the sheriff's office and district court, whether it's seized in circuit court, whether the item was owned by the county, whether it came from the jail, so there's like
All right.
a lot of additional. But one option, they can take care of a lot of people, so.
Okay.
Very good. All right. Jackie, you got anything with the drug task force?
No, sir.
I didn't make the sheriff come up here. I just want to see if you could move.
We'll be official here July 1. We're working on our building now. Bill's been a big help with us. We're in our final stages. We're going to be moving in around the 28th of June, something like that, if it all works out.
We're going to do a ribbon cutting over there.
I mean, we can.
We should.
We can do something.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to have to do some more stuff to the building, but we're going to go ahead and be in there.
If Steve Thurman gets put in jail for playing prosecutor, we might not be able to do a ribbon cutting.
Well, no, that'll be into July. He'll be
That's right. He'll still be out in June, at the end of June, yeah.
But anyway, you'll see more of me. I won't come necessarily to every fiscal court meeting unless you want me to, but anytime you want me to be here, I will. My door is always open. I didn't bring any business cards with me today, but I'm going to give you all one with my cell phone number on it, those that don't have it, so you can call me anytime, and I want you to call me. But good communication. But anyway, we're excited for everything, and I'm going to pick up the interlocal agreement today and take it over to Russellville and get it finished off, and then we'll have it in place. So then everything else is kind of clicking along. So I've been meeting a lot with Nicole and Michelle and stuff, so we're getting everything worked out. I've been in this government before, so I know pretty much how things operate, so hopefully it's a smooth transition, and there we go.
We're looking forward to y'all being over here.
All right.
Excited about it.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you. Carter, you have anything with planning and zoning? Bob, emergency management? Is the chief still sitting out there? Nelson, anything in the fire department? Bobby, anything for the road department? I know Bill has one item with the maintenance, but basically, gentlemen, you've seen the Bill had a report done on some mechanical things. We just really need to acknowledge that we've received that report.
While he's coming up, I stopped out at the county barn. I don't know how many tires tires they got in last week, but there was 2 big mountains of tires that was out there that day I was out there.
Probably about 15,000.
So about
15.
nearly 15,000 tires. Pretty good tire days. All right, yes.
As Mason mentioned, you all got your report, and there's only one item that we need to address today. I'm going to give you, let you know where we're going with this. We got our first report. It's just kind of if you all, when you looked at it, just a kind of an overview of the whole situation, what we have, what we need, and as part of our contract with them, they're coming back. In fact, we're meeting tomorrow, and we're going to sit down and kind of have some question and answer time. There's some things that I would like to know what we can do now, what can be phased in as required, when. And the other thing is, the main purpose, if you remember, for this review was so we could kind of pinpoint some issues that we had, and my interest was in the leaking, that make sure it wasn't leaking from the roof, since we paid our roofer, to have those sections coated. So I'm satisfied that the roof is fine, that we've got some issues with some of the units leaking that we can address, and we'll have a direction to go. So after this meeting tomorrow, we'll have kind of a direction that we're going to go in, and I will completely turn that over to the jail maintenance. I will no longer be involved in that. That's something they can take this information, and they'll be able to come up with a plan on, which way they want to go, when, how, when the budget allows things, and so forth. So today, all I request from you all is that for my benefit, that you all received the review, and then any other action on it will be going through the jail. So this is going to end except for the meeting tomorrow, this will end my time working on this particular situation.
Did they pretty much recommend replacing everything down?
Well,
Just looking there, there's a lot of, I've seen a lot of
well, the
recommendations.
thing is, everything, we've got some new units, but we've got some old units, and that's why I'm happy we got the report. We can look at that now and see, what's taken place over the years, what needs to be improved on, but that's kind of what I was expecting, because, there's some issues with some of the units that, we can't address, that can only be addressed with, some replacement of the units. So
really, at this time, you would like for the court to just, as a matter of record of the minutes, to just have a vote to acknowledge that we've received this mechanical report.
yes.
Second.
Got a motion by Marty and a second by Nate. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I got one other thing.
That motion.
We got any more feedback from Scott Waste?
Nothing.
I sent an email to the postage meter rep, and she said that those leases are under a state contract pricing. It's a bidded contract. You're receiving the discounted rates, and there would not be any additional discounts if
Okay.
they were all written together.
Well, you never know till you
Real
have.
quick
Exactly,
answer on that.
Yeah. So just for anybody watching, I've received numerous complaints on the convenience, well, now they're calling it the inconvenience center, because they're not staying open. We have discussed this up here. They're not staying open. They're posted hours. I had a gentleman tell me that he tried to take a load of cardboard out there. They couldn't unload it. Told him that they didn't know when they were bringing. They may bring a dumpster the next day, but it might be 2 days. So, as far as I'm concerned, they're in breach of contract by not doing what they said they're going to do. So, I don't know what action we need to take, but they need to provide the service that they have said they were going to provide.
Have they not even contacted you about this?
If you guys remember, and I don't remember which meeting it was, but we agreed to send them a letter, which I did. Then it was roughly 2 weeks after that, I followed up with an email and attached a copy of the letter so that each one of you could see the letter that was sent, and I still had no response.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So I don't know if we need to get you as an attorney to send them a letter.
Maybe, I mean, I'm just saying that's, the contract's pretty specific about that sort of thing, and it also talks about breach. And I can't believe they've not had the common decency and courtesy to at least acknowledge they'll call you and say, hey, Judge,
What was the deal going on that one day, and Pete did call me back?
Yeah, my niece works
Oh,
there.
it was, oh, I remember now.
My niece works there, and I called her, and I said,
Because a gentleman
what is
went-
Pete's boss's name? And she's told me, and I said, well, tell him that if he don't respond, you know, we're considering him in breach of contract. Pete's not even responding to anything we're sending him. Mason called me and said, well, I got a call within 5 minutes from the time you called up there.
So, but it sparked my memory of what happened. A gentleman went with a trailer load of debris to dump at the convenience center on one of the afternoons that it's open, and all the containers were full, and they turned him away. But what they wanted to do was send him over to the transfer station in Auburn, and I told him, I said, well, we didn't contract to send our people to the transfer station. We contracted to have containers available at the convenience center. But there was no acknowledgement of receiving the letter, no acknowledgement of receiving the email that all of you gentlemen were copied on. None of that. Can we look at another? Do what now?
Maybe they'll receive the letter that we're fixing to send. That we're not satisfied with the service.
I think that needs to come from the attorney. I can help you formulate that.
that's fine.
Yeah.
You contact me and we'll sit down and.
I just know I've
sit down.
got,
I mean,
I'm not the
okay
only one, I'm sure, that's got complaints about that, about
I'm
the
okay with
convenience
sending out a
center.
nasty letter, and it's like, the contract says what the contract says.
Yeah.
And, maybe you need to talk to your lawyer about what a contract means,
All right.
and have him or her explain it to you.
We'll follow up on this once again. Any other
I
business?
have nothing else. I'll move to adjourn if there's nothing
Got a
else.
motion to adjourn?
Second.
Got a second from Nate. Did you get the, Marty as the motion, Pam? Nate, say all in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Do we just